Hi, welcome to another episode of Beyond Chronic Disease. My name's Wendy. I'm your host. Today we're talking about the power of saying no. So I've got my notes here. In July, the 15th of July, I did a podcast on yes, the little word, but it's a big life generator. So when you say yes to something, especially if it's outside your comfort zone and you go through with it, it just gives you a big mental boost. If any of you have said yes to something that's a little bit outside your comfort zone, you'll know what I mean. So today, saying no can be just as effective. So how can that be? It takes a long time to learn to say no. We're typically, lots of us are people pleasers. We don't like to let people down and so forth. So saying no really defines the boundaries for you in life. And like I said, it takes you a long time, and probably the worst of us as parents saying no to our children. It it can take you a long time to say no to your children, and it can take you a long time after that first initial no to get over the feeling of the guilt and the uncomfortableness of them thinking, oh, why aren't you doing that for me? And all of their emotions as well that go along with that. And then you may even, and not just for children, but with anybody, any relationship, you may create distance because you've said no to something that somebody's really wanted you to do for them. So why do we say no? Or why is it a good thing to say no? Well, for starters, I think I've just said it before, it sets healthy boundaries for you and also for the other people, which they probably don't realize. And it protects your time and energy. Okay, so I did a podcast on what's it called? How your energy can propel you in life. Now, your energy being what you really enjoy doing, the way you look at things. So, most of us don't enjoy working to a degree, but when you change your mindset and you look at it from a different angle, you can get a different benefit out of that working life. You can feel different about it. The energy of it. So I know that sort of went a bit left field, but what I'm trying to say is saying no to things that you don't want to do, like that's the work part. You can't say no to work, but saying no to the things that you really don't want to do protects your energy levels, I guess. Like, have you ever done something that you really just did not want to do? You just didn't want to do it. And then, of course, when you didn't want to do it, then all the negative emotions come up. This is why you don't want to do it, all of this, and this is going to happen. All of that comes along with that ride of not really wanting to do something. And because you haven't said no, you go ahead and do it, and you've got all that emotional baggage that you attach to why you didn't want to do it in the first place. And how does that make you feel? It's just, it takes your energy, it just drains you. You feel tired, you feel grumpy, like all of those negative emotions that we get into our body, that all comes from saying yes to something that we really, really didn't want to do. Now, I'm not saying you say no to everything in life, just because, oh no, I don't really feel like doing that. With relationships serve a purpose, and you can't, you have to live with people, you deal with people in life, So you have to really, it's sort of like picking a battle, I guess, when you're having a non-argument. Last week I did a podcast on why you shouldn't argue. So I'm not talking about arguing, but just picking those things in life that you just don't want to do it, rather than the ones that really that you just physically can't do. Like, it just makes you feel sick to think about even doing it. So I'm here to say that you can say no if it gets to that point, or even before that point. Realistically, you can say no to whatever the hell you want. Really, okay? You do whatever you want. I'm just here to say that saying no really is a healthy little word for you to put in your vocab when you need to, because there's a lot of people that get burnt out from saying yes to everything all the time and doing stuff. So saying no stops that overcommitment, the overwhelm, all of those things that that can happen, unhealthy things on your body, and create stress and all of those sort of things. So we're trying to eliminate all of that out of our lives. So by saying no to certain things that could create such a stress on your body is a good thing. Now, why do we always find it hard to say no? Is because we don't want to let people down. So somebody, they'll ask you, oh, can you do this for me? I can't get there. Can you? And, maybe you can, you don't really want to do it, but you can do it. You have the time to do it. And it's a good friend of yours and they do a lot for you, whatever. And you can say, yeah, yes, I can do that. It's not a big issue. But then there's the other side of it where you literally can't be there. You've got something on at that time. You can't change it. Like you might be running to the airport or doing something that you really can't change the time of, and it's not that important for you to do that anyway. Maybe this person doesn't really help you. Maybe they've just rung you out of the blue. Whatever the circumstance is, we don't like to disappoint people. But when we say no, please don't try and justify the reasons that you're saying no. A tip is just say, no, I'm really sorry, I can't do it that day. Or no, I'm really sorry, I won't be able to make it. And that's it. Because the more you start justifying, like, especially if it's just something that you didn't want to do, you think, oh my God, I don't want to do that. That's boring. Or no, I don't want to be with that person. Or no, sorry, I can't do it. The more repeat, this is what I was just about to say, the more you try and justify why you can't, you're just digging a hole for yourself. Because the fact of the matter is, you may not, like I just said, you don't want to do it, you don't like the person, whatever it is, you just say, no, can't do it, sorry. That's it. End of story. So it's hard to say no because we don't want to disappoint people. And literally, we're all people pleasers. We like to please everybody all the time. I mean, maybe I don't, but I know some people do. And then also there's the biggest one, fear of missing out. So often we'll say yes to things that we don't really want to do, but everybody else that we know is there. So we don't want to miss out on the event, whatever's going on. I know I've done that before, but not anymore. I really don't care, because I know saying no for me is a big game changer. So when we do say no, I think I've already sort of basically said it. You don't need to justify. And you just have to look at the priorities in your life realistically and see whether, whatever you're being whatever is being asked of you or whatever you're doing in your life, whether it's a priority or not. And that will gauge on whether you really want to do it or not. Because when you say no, it creates space, more space in your life for all the opportunities and priorities and things that you really, really want to do. And it makes you feel so much more energized and way like, oh, that's it. Makes you feel more energized. So, example, yesterday, I didn't have a good sleep the night before, and I was very, very tired. So I was doing stuff that, I didn't really want to do, some part of it, but I knew that there was the big picture. Sometimes you've got to look at the big picture, okay, which is sort of what I tried to say before, the big picture in life. So I did some stuff that, I really didn't want to do, but it wasn't draining me or anything like that because I could see the big picture and I thought, well, if I get this done now, then I won't have to do it later. And I'm a big advocate for doing something now and not leaving it, like putting it off until tomorrow, because tomorrow, for me, it changes just, in a flash. So do things today. So on the way home from doing this, I had forgotten to do something else. Anyway, I wanted to have a sleep, but that didn't happen. But anyway, so instead of saying no, no, no to all these other things that I had on, basically, I did them. I changed my attitude. You have to create the mental space for it. And it made my night run more smoothly. Pardon me. And I just felt so much better after doing all that. So sometimes you really have to prioritize your yeses and your nos. But definitely you can say no in this big wide world, but just be ready for people's responses because especially if you've been saying yes to everything all of the time, and then the first time you say no, people will be shocked. Okay, I'm just letting you know, giving you the heads up. So I'm here to say you can say no to anything that you want or don't want. Just look at the big picture. Sometimes the big picture means more, and don't feel guilty and don't feel like you have to justify anything because you just dig a hole for yourself. And if you are saying yes, 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 and you're being that people pleaser and a fear of missing out and all that, you watch what happens. Eventually, your body will just go into shutdown because you've overcommitted. Your body's been overwhelmed from the overcommitment, and it's things that you probably aren't 100% really enjoying, and then it will just break down. So start saying no today, because I don't want that to happen for you. So next week, I can't remember what I'm going to do next week. Sorry. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode about the non-arguing. Anyway, I'll leave it there, and we'll both be surprised for next week because I've forgotten what it is. Okay, see you then. Bye.